Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm just wrapping up, setting up camp here, getting ready to take off. I don't see too much on the map today. I'm sure we'll find something exciting, but the main thing to watch out for today is water. There's a water source in 2 miles, a water source in 8.5 miles, and then I think a 10-mile stretch where it's pretty dry. But compared to what we've been doing, 10 miles isn't so bad. At any rate, looking forward to what the day is going to bring. Here we are. This is the Appalachian Trail halfway marker monument. I don't know what they call it. Now, the Appalachian Trail does change from year to year. Small reroutes in different places. So I think this year the actual midpoint from mileage is maybe a few miles that way. And as you can see by the mile numbers on the sign, the AT is a little longer this year than this sign indicates. But here is the halfway monument. I made it. Now right next to it is a mailbox where inside is a logbook, and you can sign your name and prove that you were here, I guess. Initial thoughts on hitting the halfway point on the AT. Well, to be honest, I think hitting 1,000 miles was a little bit of a bigger deal for me. I think once I hit that, getting halfway was a foregone conclusion. So a little bit anticlimactic, I guess, but still awesome. Halfway, great. The other thing, just a little bit in the back of my head, is I'm thinking, I'm only halfway. Everything I've been through, and I've got to do it all over again. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited for another 1,100 miles on the Appalachian Trail. I just came across this sign that indicates the halfway point, the actual halfway point for 2024. So now I'm official. This calls the place I was just at the ceremonial halfway point. So we've got the ceremonial done. We've got the actual halfway point done. I guess the only thing next to do is to hit the 1,100 mark. 1,100 miles. Here we go. SOBOs. I shared a golf story earlier in the week. So here's my other golf story. What's the difference between a good golfer and a great golfer? Well, as I've been told, a good golfer and a great golfer both have equivalent skill levels. They can both drive the ball, they can putt the ball, they can hit it with those other clubs. I think they're called irons. I'm not a golfer. But the difference between a good and a great golfer is when the good golfer makes a mistake, and say he slices the ball and hits it way off to the side, he can't let that mistake go. And when he's hitting his next ball, he's still thinking about his previous mistake. And then he makes another mistake, and it just kind of spirals like that. Whereas the great golfer makes the same mistake, slices the ball, analyzes the mistake, makes whatever corrections he needs to, and then puts it out of his mind. Goes on to the next ball and hits it without thinking about the past. In other words, the great golfer can let it go and doesn't allow the past to bring him down going into the future. You've heard the thing where somebody says, don't think of an elephant, and you want to think of an elephant. At least your mind kind of goes to the elephant. Our mind doesn't understand the negative. When you say don't think of something, your mind's thinking of it. Whew. When a skier is skiing down the slopes and weaving through trees, he simply can't afford to think, don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree, because he's focused on the trees and he's probably going to hit the tree. Instead, he's focused on stay on the path, stay on the path. Focuses on the path and then is able to successfully weave through the trees. I think this idea is important through hiking, or just hiking in general. There's a lot of negatives you can focus on. The rocks are so pointy, right? It's so hot out here. The hills are so steep. But if that's what you're focused on, you're missing out on the beautiful sky, the leaves changing colors, the wonderful breeze on your face, things like that. Now, some of these more negative things, I think, do add a bit of flavor to the experience, right? A bit of flavor. I don't think they should be completely ignored, but I think you need to be careful. I need to be careful. We all need to be careful not to focus too much on the negatives, but rather spend our time feeling the negatives, adding that flavor, but enjoying the positives, because there are so many positives out here. And I think this is just an overall great life lesson too, right? Let your challenges add flavor to your life. Don't let your past mistakes tear you down. And focus on all the positive things that there are around you. This is one fancy shelter. Bear box, table, tent pads, seat with a swing. Holy moly. 2 different areas to sleep in, picnic table, fireplace, potted plants. There's another table over here. I bet you this is a spring. It's dry now, but wow. Quarry Gap shelter. Pretty fancy. Caledonia State Park. Got a bit of a stream right over here. It's a little more than ankle deep is all, but plenty of water, plenty wide, so I washed up a bit. A family came walking by, was looking at me a little strange. The bummer here, I mean, I got some water here. It's been, a nice little spot. The bummer was, I think they just finished a big triathlon or something. And so they're packing up all this extra food that didn't get used. There's a pork truck. I walk up to the pork truck. Hey, can I buy some pork? They're like, no, we just catered. We got all this pork, but it has to go to the race people. We don't have any extra for you. And I couldn't. I tried to look as interested as I could in the food, but I didn't get any offers of trail magic. But such is life. We're going to move on, see if I can hit this next shelter, 3.5 miles away. Let's go. For the youngest son of mine, there's people here sleeping. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks to my wife and family for their support. Good night, we'll see you tomorrow.